everyone loves on-site content. So they like to know you're there. I think some of the secret advice that I got from one agent was she waits until she comes back to post all her stuff, from the first person view. That way, she says, as soon as I get DMs or leads, I can work with them and I'm in office. People want to be engaged because they think you're there. They want questions. Oh, send me a quote. And boom, you're literally in your office or at home and you can do all that.
Welcome aboard. Please take your seat and fasten your seatbelt. The Modern Travel Agent podcast starts now.
In today's episode, we interview Luke Majewski, who is the Business Development Manager for AIC Hotel Group. Luke shares his insights on how agents can maximize their social media and referral programs to drive new business. He shares tools and resources that he uses to manage his social media accounts and what he sees the top agents doing differently.
This episode is brought to you by AIC Hotel Group, whose brands include Hard Rock All-Inclusive Hotels, Unico 2087, and Nobu Hotel Los Cabos. AIC Hotel Group offers unique travel agent programs that boast industry-leading commissions, exclusive rates, tailored support, and world-class incentives to ensure their dedicated agents are well rewarded for their loyalty and support. Visit allinagents.com to learn more about their brands and what makes them an outstanding travel agent partner. So without further ado, this is our interview with Luke Majewski of AIC Hotel Group.
Thank you for joining us in the Modern Travel Agent podcast. Luke, we're really excited to hear about your story. And so to kind of get started, we just wanted to hear about how you got into the travel industry.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. So just a little bit of background on me. I came up in the fitness industry, and then I actually ended up going on vacation at a Sandals in the Bahamas. And, one of those guests who had a little too many Bahama mamas, and I met the general manager at the bar, and we had a good conversation. I'm like, man, I'd love to work here. He goes, oh, man, we're hiring. I go, oh, I was kind of joking, but lo and behold, we have a little bit more conversation, and he tells me about the travel jobs in the United States. So at that point, I was in my 20s, didn't know much about the travel industry, but knew small business, sales, marketing. So I ended up interviewing with Sandals, and about 6 weeks after that trip, I was working for Sandals. And then now I'm the business development manager for AIC Hotel Group here in Texas. So it's one of those funny stories that we always meet people on vacation. They say, oh, I want to do what you do, until they realize what we actually do and not just vacation for fun. And it turned into a wonderful career so far.
That's amazing. I love that. You're our BDM, Luke. You're great at your job. And just wanted to get your opinion on something. What type of things should agents share with their business development manager when they're trying to build that relationship?
So I think the most common mistake everyone makes is, everyone assumes our job is to be your rep and to just give you information on our hotels and our products, which, yes, that's a portion of our position. But at the end of the day, we want to learn about your business. So you definitely have to share your business plan, your goals, what you're doing for marketing, so we can help you fit in what we do and what we offer into how you run your business. Because otherwise, we have no idea. I could come into your office and give you a 20-minute spiel on our hotels, which is great and all, but how's that going to help you improve your business? So the biggest thing is definitely sharing your business plan with your BDMs, whether it's from your hoteliers or your tour operators or DMC partners even.
What are some of the important pieces of information? So that would include maybe like their long-term goals, what they do well. What information really would help you kind of collaborate with them and help them build up?
Sure. I think the biggest ones are, tell me what you sell, what you want to sell, what you specialize in. What are your goals? Do you want to sell more groups, more weddings? Do you want to sell more Caribbean or Mexico, or do you sell Europe or Hawaii? Especially now with what's going on in the COVID world, your strategies are going to be shifting a little bit. So now's the most important time to share those goals because, a lot of cruise sellers currently aren't selling anything. So a lot of them have shifted to selling more land. But when you don't communicate with that with your partners, we don't know. So then we can't really provide you with the tools that are going to fit your business plan.
That makes a lot of sense. And from your experience working with, sort of the full gamut of all different types of agencies that specialize in all different types of things, what do you notice that the top agencies are doing?
I think the three biggest things would be social media, having some kind of referral program in place. That way you're not losing your current customers because you're focused on the next one. And then I think a big one that, I just thought of is upselling. They're coming to you for expertise, whether it's wanting a certain suite or a destination or just telling you, I'm sure you've heard this before. We just want to go on vacation somewhere warm. Great. That covers about, 60% of the globe. So it's definitely asking questions, listening, and then obviously being able to adapt to what you're focusing on.
You started off talking about social media. That's the first thing that you mentioned. How can agents be successful with social media?
So that's a great question and a good first topic. We just did an all institute class on it, and Jasmine and I, our BDM from Canada, we were focusing on just picking your platform. There's so many now, from Facebook to Instagram to TikTok, Twitter, Clubhouse. I don't even know what else I just got invited to today. So you want to make sure, you may not be familiar with all of them, but pick one or two, and then make sure you separate your personal from your business if you can. That way you can truly focus on what you do and what your goals are for that platform, especially with Facebook. Facebook does allow you to create a business account as well as Instagram. So those are kind of mutually interconnected now because you can actually link them as well. So that makes it a little bit easier to control what you're doing on both platforms.
And what would you say as far as the referral program? How can they kind of are they able to use social media to really use that, or do you see that sort of the referral program as a standalone thing?
So I think you got to use social media for the referral program. Your clients, whether let's say you're booking someone right now for a honeymoon to Unico in Riviera Maya, you can brag about it on social media, tagging them, making you more visible not only to your followers but now to theirs. Same thing with Facebook stories and Instagram stories. You can start tagging your clients. Make sure you're friends with your clients on social media. So when you do book an amazing trip to Greece, you tag them, and then it's that FOMO factor. Everyone wants to be jealous or do something that someone else is doing. So why not brag about people who are doing these vacations, or you just booked a wedding, or you booked a special destination? Show off those things using your existing clients. Sometimes we were so busy wanting to make the sale, we forget that they also have friends and followers and social media, and they're going to brag about it too, especially because they want to show off.
Absolutely. What would you say are some things that the agents should not do on social media?
I think the biggest thing is it's okay to have political beliefs and everything else that's going on in this world. I would keep those to myself. You're running a business. You're at the end of the day, your business is selling vacations, promoting travel, and you want to keep up to date on everything that's going on in different countries and different protocols. But sharing, your personal beliefs, I would keep that out of your business, and keep some personal stuff out as well, especially if it's your business page, because then it gets a little bit more confusing. And if one day you're posting about Hawaii, next day Mexico, and the third day it's about your cat, which is great and all, but we have so much things we view on a daily basis that at some point it's so much easier now to unfollow people, snooze people, and not see their content, all because I just wasn't interested in who you voted for or what your cat ate today.
Yeah, and sometimes it only takes that one post to get a snooze. I know sometimes I might be a little quick on the trigger. I'm like, your cat in a Bumblebee outfit, you're done. You're getting snoozed. That's it. You're not past go. What would you say? A lot of this is really great information for agents that maybe aren't as familiar with for social media. And so maybe, they might be somewhat familiar with Facebook, maybe a little bit with Instagram. What advice do you have for somebody that's sort of just getting started?
So I think the best way to start out is, and even if you are familiar with it, start following people that do it well. So it could be other travel agents. At the end of the day, we're one community. We want to help support one another because we're one booking aspect of our industry. So follow different agencies, follow social media influencers. It doesn't have to be necessarily, that hot woman that's going to the beach and getting paid for it. But there's a lot of, brand ambassadors and social media gurus, and follow even the hoteliers. Our hotels happen to have a social media team on property. So follow and see what they do. That doesn't necessarily mean you have to copy and mimic what they do, but it'll show you different styles, different ways to post, ways to be interactive versus just, oh, well, if I post, it's definitely going to happen.
Yeah, for sure. I know for some looking at it, of everything that you have to do, it's a little overwhelming. You're running a business. Maybe you don't have time to travel as much to take those unique photos. What resources do you recommend to kind of help agents streamline and benefit that process?
So I think one of the first things everyone needs to do, or at least start out doing, kind of make a plan. Decide what your goals are. And that could be from posting 4 or 5, twice, 3 times a week, to I want to get more followers, or I want to build more engagement. And, you just focus on that. And then there's also resources like I personally use Canva. You guys have amazing backgrounds. Those came from our media valet, where we have, high quality images, high quality videos that we already did for you. So all you really have to do is personalize it and add a call to action. I also use Snapseed. One of my coworkers used Preview. So there's a ton of apps, and most of them are free. So it lets you, make the photos look a little bit brighter, make them look a little bit better. And, you don't have to spend as much time worrying about, which filter should I use, or what density photo should I make this? Those apps kind of take care of that for you. And with, Canva, it lets you even splice together pictures or videos. If you do the pay option, you can add music because it's all licensed. So you can get very creative. And the best part is they provide templates. So as much as everyone thinks I'm such a creative human being, half of that credit goes to Canva.
You're not going to take credit for it, Luke? Come on, man.
I took credit for half. If Canva wants to pay me, I'll give them even more credit.
You're giving people the secret sauce.
I know you mentioned following, other people who are doing social media well, kind of learning from them. You don't have to copy them, but you can definitely pick and choose what you like. Hoteliers. What are some examples of maybe agents or agencies or people in the travel industry who are kind of like really doing it well?
So I would say 2 of my favorites, basically based on what they did during the pandemic, is Vagabond Travel. It's a lovely agency, a bunch of amazing women from Houston. Jen Brown and Aubrey Johnson's also another good one to follow. They're just creative. They're different. Aubrey is like a TikTok star. I was watching her do TikTok in December at Hard Rock Los Cabos, and it looked funny as you're watching it from the outside because you're like, oh, why is she kicking sand up in the air? And all of a sudden you see the finished product, and it's just this amazing, screen grab of the sand and the hotel and the beach. And now you can kind of get a feeling for how others do it and why they do some crazy things, and just the creativity. So those 2 are good. One of my good friends, Brian Fanzo, who is actually a social media speaker, we had him at one of our romance forums in Puerto Vallarta, and he's at isocialfans.com. That's his website, but that's his handle as well. So Brian Fanzo is a good one just because he knows all the new platforms. He shares a lot of great information. He's the one that taught me that you can use Twitter and splice videos together. So if we're at Hard Rock Cabo and I want to give you a 90-second tour of the hotel, instead of making one video and you watch me walk through the lobby, which at that point you've lost viewers, you can splice together 10, 15 seconds of each section of the hotel into one miraculous video. And, edit it, add some music, and boom, you have a promotional video for the current hotel you're at.
That is great advice. We talked a little bit about referral program earlier. How can agents successfully start and execute a referral program?
I think the most important part is make sure you're friends on social media with these clients, because it's okay to brag. We're in an industry where it's okay to brag about the amazing, 14-day trip you just booked to Hawaii, or the amazing destination wedding you booked to Punta Cana. And you want to involve your clients because, as I mentioned earlier, they're going to want to show off too. And sometimes, when you book, especially groups and destination weddings, we're so focused on that bride and groom that we forget that those 80 people coming to their wedding are also now your clients. And that's a big one. And I've said that one probably for many years at different speaking engagements is don't just think about the next client. Think about these 80, because these 80 are going to get you 80 more. And those 80 are going to get you 80 more. So it's definitely like a spider web. But if you just leave it as this is the group I booked and I'm done with it, then that's what you're going to get out of it at the end of the day.
Yep.
That's also great advice because it doesn't require that you're traveling anywhere for the content. I mean, that means that every day that you're working with customers and booking trips and stuff, that you can kind of highlight them with pictures from, for instance, like the Media Ballet with, AIC Hotels, where they have all the great pictures where you can kind of spotlight them and you don't have to be in destination to always be posting.
I mean, I think the biggest compliment I get is everyone's like, wow, you're in Mexico again. And I haven't been to Mexico in 3 months. So you can recycle content. You could use it in different ways. You can take videos and make them your own. But, everyone loves on-site content. So they like to know you're there. I think some of the secret advice that I got from one agent was she waits until she comes back to post all her stuff, from the first person view. That way, she says, as soon as I get DMs or leads, I can work with them and I'm in office. And I was like, never thought of it. Maybe one of the most brilliant pieces of advice, because now people want to be engaged because they think you're there. They want questions. Oh, send me a quote. And boom, you're literally in your office or at home and you can do all that. So definitely one of the best pieces of advice I've heard in a while.
That is really cool. There's obviously different, for hotels, AIC hotels, there's different sort of ways that they reach the market. How important are travel agents to the industry?
So given the fact that we're in month 13 of COVID or whatever it is, 300, sure. I think we realized at the beginning when we saw, I won't use their name, but it was a .com that went out of business during COVID. And they had millions of dollars of business and money they've taken from clients. And in a second, they were gone. So there was no customer service people. There was no humans. There was no personal side to it. They were just gone. So I think now more than ever, the value of, a travel agent and human interaction and human sales is probably at its peak. Everyone wants that personal touch. Everyone wants to trust a professional. I was joking the other day, I don't cut my own hair. I could probably, but is it going to look great? Probably not. So I trust a professional. Could I change my oil? Sure, I could probably YouTube it and give it a try, but probably mess it up. So same thing. It's all about trusting a professional who's been there, done that, who has these relationships. Some of the stories I tell, the agents either come to me or come to our sales managers, and, no one's perfect. So every hotel will have issues here and there. But when you have someone on your side that's a human and not an 800 number, that's when you have that protection and comfort. So I think now is definitely the time for travel agents to shine. Absolutely,
especially with the changing rules. Seems like they're changing them daily. Having a professional on your side is so important. What advice would you give to new agents entering the industry?
So same as when I came in, 8 years ago now? When I first started, I had no travel industry experience. I was eager, and I listened and I learned from others. And then you want to adapt and do trainings. Have something in mind that you want to do, what you want to focus on. As much as we all want to initially start with the world, you got to start somewhere. So whether it's places you've been or, popular brands that, Modern partners with. So you're going to have to build that trust factor. I mean, there's hundreds of hotels in Cancun. You're not going to sell every single one. You're not going to know how many pools it has. You're not going to know what room categories are what, but you want to build trust in those brands and those destinations and just keep learning. And you could do research by yourself. You could join social media groups, Facebook groups, work with your fellow travel agents. I think this community has come closer together than ever now. And literally everyone is helping everyone.
And I think that's great advice as far as, starting sort of smaller and scaling up what you're offering so that you can kind of become an expert and learn. For agents that are interested in becoming experts on AIC hotels, where should they go?
So we always push the idea that you want to get to know your local business development manager. So our company works a little bit differently. So wherever you're located geographically, we have someone there for you. So if you're in Texas, Oklahoma, or Arkansas, I obviously work with you, but we have support all throughout the country. That way you're also invited to local events and you have local support. Then obviously we have our allinagents.com portal that has all sorts of marketing materials, informational materials. And then something we started this year was All In Institute. It's kind of quick 20, 30-minute classes on various topics of not only our industry, but AIC Hotel Group as well. So those we'll have recorded. I'll make sure you guys have copies of those and can share with new agents, whether they're new now or they're coming in, a couple of months from now. It's just good, quick 20-minute hitters on everything from groups to social media to how to make a booking even. So we start at 101 and we're going to 501 at this point.
That's awesome.
That is fantastic. Luke, one of the benefits, of course, of being in the travel business is that we get to travel, right? So I am curious, what is your process for packing before a trip?
Oh, that's a good one. And this is very embarrassing to admit. I pack literally the night before.
That's good. That's good.
And just hope that I got everything I need.
That's good. So do you just throw it in or do you lay stuff out? Or do you...
I learned the rolling technique.
The rolling technique's big.
That's big now. I'm 6'3", so I brought a full luggage to one of our meetings, and the looks I got from the women were like, "What are you doing? Why are we waiting for you?" I go, "You guys do realize I brought 4 pairs of shoes, and they can't fit in your bag because of how large my size 13 feet are." And so I always get made fun of that. However, since we're on this topic and everyone deserves a laugh, I once showed up to Cancun without any undergarments packed for a personal vacation.
So on the way to the hotel, you stopped by the by the store, or did you just
it's vacation, baby.
Oh, no, it's even better. My friend's wife went to Target for me because they were flying out of a different city, bought some and brought them with them the next day when they came.
That's a good friend. That is a good friend.
However, there is stores, and if you ever want cool, travel wear, all of our hotels and most hotels have that gift shop. So if you definitely want to wear those flowered shirts every day and those nice linen pants, that's definitely a look you can pull off every day if you forget anything.
Nice. Luca, how can people get in touch with you online and follow you, your social handles?
So I have a professional Facebook page. It's just Luke Majewski. It's usually a picture of one of my work events, me, and then obviously it'll say AIC Hotel Group BDM. And then my Instagram is @Luke's_Travel_Adventures.
Nice.
So both very entertaining, especially when I'm traveling. You'll learn a lot about me in the airport and what I see and what I experience on a daily basis.
You drink some good tequila. I've seen you drink some good tequila, Luke. You got good taste.
Food and tequila are definitely highlights of my trips.
Luke, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure, sharing with us all about social media referrals, and I think a lot of agents are going to have a lot of takeaways from this.
No, I appreciate it. It's a great topic, and as we move forward in 2021, social media is going to be important to growing people's business. I mean, I think what we don't realize is you're not having to have your clients just in your city or in your state or just your followers. You can get them from all over the world. And especially during, COVID, we see agents from different areas that were a little bit worse off than we are here in Texas, coming after Texas clients because that's where they are, especially in the virtual world.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, well, thank you very much.
Thanks, Luke.
You guys.